This video is sponsored by channel members such as Shaggy Gaming. Thank you! A copy of Plants vs Zombies? What a waste of my time. Hello everyone, we are back with another game review, and yes, I had to take some time to slam dunk Plants vs Zombies Replanted. Listen, I was kinda hopeful for this, but my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. This game, if you can even call it that, has won the internet and my pick for worst game ever made this year. Genuinely disappointing to witness, but oh well, they made their bed and they are currently laying on it as we speak. So let's pretend this monstrosity doesn't exist and go back to the classic Plants vs Zombies, a tower defense game released in 2009 by PopCap back when they were still in their prime era. I remember when I played this game on my old computer way back then. I can't remember if this was my second game on that computer or Counter-Strike Source. Either way, I have fond memories of me playing this game and being pretty decent at it. Of course, I had the demo, not the full game, meaning that the game basically ended at the pool levels, but it was a really fun game. PopCap excelled at making casual games back in the day. That's why they are well known when it comes to this. The king of casual games, so I heard, and it's not hard to see why they received that title. So many games they have created. I can easily see grandpa or grandma play without having much difficulty understanding how the game works or how a computer works in general. I mean, for fuck's sake, I still remember watching my mother play this game. The very same person who looked at me funny whenever I was engaging with this kind of stuff, and FNAF, and told me that, oh, I'm into garbage or something across my entire lifetime. The very same person who nowadays scrolls social media a lot and plays. If this stupid ass game got even my mom to play until the demo was over, then yeah, Plants vs Zombies is one of a kind. You just cannot underestimate this game's reaching. But does Plants vs Zombies still hold up 16 years later? Spoiler alert, but absolutely. This is still a fantastic game and extremely fun to play, although there are a couple of things about this game I find peculiar. So let's get started with the review. The game's main campaign, if you would, is Adventure Mode. This campaign features 50 levels across 5 biomes, worlds, themes, or locations? I don't know. The first world is daytime, where for the first few levels we learn how the game functions. I really love how seamless this tutorial is made, that it feels a bit hard to classify it as a tutorial at first glance. The lawn slowly opening up more and more as we progress, signaling that this game is getting a little difficult as you go. World 1 is great at introducing things. A common theme is that after you complete a level, you get a new plant. What's so cool about this is that you can take the time to try out the new plant if you want, or stick to your old strategy. I love when video games give me options to consider in their design. Overall, World 1 is the tutorial world of the game. Level 10 can be classified as a boss level, or something like that. It quickly establishes conveyor belt levels, and that the final levels will be a final challenge of, I guess, this set of levels. These will also be accompanied with a letter from the zombies, which it adds a lot of character to this game in general, and I find this really endearing. Every 5 levels you do something special. I already explained level 10. So, level 5 for World 1 is a game of bowling with walnuts. I don't get why modern PopCap is so high over heels on this one. Yeah, it's good, really fun, but also very funny to witness. It's not this misunderstood masterpiece that no one could comprehend. I don't know why they keep pushing this stupid ass minigame on their marketing. Walnut bowling is pretty basic, but it gets the job done. We have seen walnuts be stationary, so the fact that we can use them in a fun and quirky way says a lot. World 1 also introduces the shovel, the most crucial item in this entire game. This is one shovel that you just cannot ignore, because in pretty much every scenario, the shovel is very helpful in getting rid of a plant and replacing it with something else, or the same plant if you will. Really useful in survival runs when you just want to make a certain strategy and you have to kinda, change it up a little bit. The selection of plants that you get in this world is also the ones you're likely to use a whole lot later on. Obviously, sunflower is a crucial plant that you will always have on your kit. Snow pea has an extremely overpowered chill effect. Oh, don't tell me this shit isn't OP, it's literally a win button at this point. Repeater is Bijouter, if it was better. Potato mine is excellent for early game, so you can farm a lot of sun at the beginning. I shall thank the Plants vs Zombies 2 mods for teaching me the art of potato mining early game. I truly have been blessed for the better. Grasswalk is also a really iconic song that I'm sure it's the first recognizable theme song from this game, right behind the PvZ theme and Choose Your Seeds theme. It's not my favorite, but I really like, and I love the way how it progresses with the horror theme. So I made sure to have a template for how I'm going to review these worlds for adventure mode. The other things are going to be whatever, fuck away ball kind of review, just what I like to make, because it's kind of funny but also really fun. All in all, daytime is the tutorial that does its job pretty well. Not much to say, to be honest. Daytime is cool. Next up we have nighttime. It takes place on the same location, except it's at night, so it's more spooky. A nice shake up from what we had before, where sun doesn't fall from the sky anymore, which means sun production has significantly slowed down for level 1. Luckily, and also a fun fact, but we can beat the entire level with just puff shrooms. More on these little fellas later. A unique gimmick for nighttime are the graveyards. At the final wave, zombies will spawn in, which will erratically increase the amount of zombies on the lawn. I like these things. I would normally just leave them in for the challenge, but I needed the money. I like money! I will say, the levels definitely felt a bit slow in this one. It might be because of the sun production slowing down, although that isn't much of a problem anymore with Sunshroom. I think many levels just feel the same as the last one. 2-2 is 2-1 but with a bucket head. 2-4 is 2-3 but there's a pole vaulting zombie. Also don't get the newspaper zombie's absence in level 3 and 4. 2-6 introduces the football zombie, which are annoying as fuck, but they do have plenty of counters. Also part of me just wants to refer to these guys as all-star zombies. Garden Warfare Brain Rot is what I call this. 2-7 is pretty much the same. 2-8 introduces Disco Zombie, which is a fun one. Comes into the lawn to style on us alongside his backup dancers. They can be a cause for alarm if not dealt with quickly. But then 2-9, the penultimate level for this world, doesn't have half the zombies introduced in this one. Newspaper Zombie has been absent since level 2, guys. Football Zombie, where are you? It does feel a bit weird. 2-5 is Whack-A-Mole, which is really goofy, but yeah, you know, it's pretty fun. I love this. And finally 2-10. Well, there's Football Zombie, but where the hell is Newspaper Zombie at? What did he do to that guy? The selection of plants certainly feels pretty similar compared to daytime plants. Sunshroom is Soundflower, Puff Shroom, Scaredy Shroom, and Fume Shroom are just pea shooters, and that's where the similarities end. Although I will say Puff Shrooms are like the goats. They're free, you can just spam them. They're pretty powerful, not gonna lie. The rest of the mushrooms are pretty unique. Ice Shroom is really powerful, although I don't use him a whole lot. Doom Shroom just rips and tears the entire lawn in two. It even leaves a crater behind. Hypno Shroom is an extremely cool plant that's bogged down by the recharge time, but the ability to have zombies on your side is actually pretty sick. However, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to probably the most useless plant in the entire game, Gravebuster. He's only useful in nighttime levels because that's where graves spawn. His only job is to get rid of graves. You can kinda see where I'm going with this. While Gravebuster does do his job pretty well, I gotta ask, how much does Gravebuster actually do to help you? The answer? Not a whole lot. The most he does is just eliminates extra zombies on the lawn. At least with many other plants, they have their use in a bunch of things. Gravebuster is just relevant for a couple of levels and that's it. Oh fuck, Moongrace is actually a pretty chill song. I really love how the trombone that comes in later plays the notes. It feels so fitting. I really like how quiet and calm in general this song is. Almost feels like a lullaby that a parent would sing for their child, somewhat. Although I haven't met many people who sing like actual MIDI instruments, so I wouldn't know. But I cannot talk about this song without talking about the undisputed heavyweight champion, that is the horror theme. I nagged about this in a Replanted video talking about how shit the game actually is, and I still stand by that fact. I mean, it has only been a couple of days since then, but still, the horror theme for Moongrace is the best song in the entire game, and I'm not hearing any objections. Mainly the fact that the melody is pretty unique compared to every other version. I really like the military-esque marching at the beginning, and just the way the song gets going makes me pumped to defeat this upcoming horde. Overall, nighttime is really cool, albeit it feels a little bit repetitive. I don't think the game gets a whole lot better from here, but it doesn't stagnate in quality. Pool is interesting because instead of 5 lanes, we have 6 lanes to defend. This doesn't really change much though, and to be honest, this might be just me being stupid, but I never noticed the lane increase in size. It's pretty inconsequential and doesn't provide much value gameplay wise, methinks. Unless someone points it out to you, you're probably not gonna notice it. Obviously, the gimmick for this world is the pool itself. 2 lanes where aquatic plants can only be planted, meaning normal plants cannot be planted here. During the final wave, an ambush always appears in the pool and can really screw you over extremely hard or just be a nothing burger. The levels definitely are getting slower with the introduction of levels that have 3 flags instead. 3-1 is pretty standard, nothing wrong with it. 3-2 is also pretty standard, but at least we are getting more newspaper zombie. Oh man, where were you, mister? You missed out on everything. 3-3 introduces the snorkel zombie, which again doesn't show up much in this level. I'm starting to see a trend. 3-4 is just 3-3 but with 3 flags. And man, does it drag? It really takes a while to get going. 3-5 is pretty funny. Every zombie is very little, but also come in wolf packs for crying out loud. Probably the best use of cherry bomb we'll see in this game due to blowing up the lawn and the pool at the same time. Also, man, I really do feel like they're a bit stingy with the pea shooters. Like, we are getting 2 rows of pea shooters and that's more than enough really. But it takes the entire level for that to happen. 3-6 introduces zombonis and they show up 2 times over the course of that level. Yay. 3-7 is like 3-6 but 3 flags, except it's not exactly the same. Snorkel zombies are back. Yay. 3-8 introduces the dolphin rider, which can be a threat, but imagine pole vaulting zombie, except he was Olympic at swimming instead of jumping with a pole. Then the next 2 levels are pretty long, but at least they throw at you pretty much everything. Guys, I don't think I like 3 flag levels. Before everyone goes in the comments tell me that I have a hate boner for slow-paced games, I don't. But you cannot look me in my eyes and tell me that the pacing of this game isn't abhorrent in some way. I don't think a level should take me almost 10 minutes to finish, let alone more than 10 minutes. The plants that you receive in this world are arguably the best set of plants in the entire game. Like, you cannot look at this row of plants and tell me this isn't peak. Lily pad being a relevant plant for more than a world is really cool. Yeah, screw your grave buster, how about you bust some bitch? Squash is a very reliable insta-kill plant that gets the job done and recharges relatively quick. 3-peater just steamrolls the entire world. It is actually kinda disgusting how good 3-peater is in this game, but he's also mostly used in this world because this is at its best. Tangle kelp is basically my hair whenever I wake up in the morning. Okay, this one is fine. It's not bad, pretty good insta-kill, but it recharges slow. I can't tell if my perception of time is terrible and it's the same to recharge as a potato mine, but I swear this thing is taking its sweet time. Jalapeno is great at wiping out an entire lane. Spikeweed is so good at actually alongside with Tall Knot, like this is a really strong combo. They synergize extremely well. And finally, Torchwood is just a plant that buffs pea shooters. Except one. What more can I say about it other than this is broken as fuck but incredibly awesome? Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but there's no argument to be had here. Pretty much every plant here is very useful, have cool designs, and synergize pretty damn well. Watery Graves as a song feels aquatic? I don't know how to really describe it. It feels wet. A pretty relaxing song altogether. The horror theme is kinda like Grasswalk's horror theme. It feels like a remix, which is fine, but after Moongrey showed us a more unique horror theme, I'm tuning out. So overall, Pool was more interesting than before, but it features a lot of levels that just take too long. It does make up with having the best unlockable plans in the game, as well as a great song to accompany it. In my restless streams, I see that lawn. Fog is a bit peculiar to me. On one hand, it's just Pool, except at nighttime, and the gimmick is a thick fog that's covering the entire right side of the screen. But on the other hand, I have no idea why this world has the shortest levels in the entire game. Like, daytime took me 40 minutes to record in its entirety, nighttime took me 58 minutes to record, Pool took me 1 hour and 6 minutes to record, and Roof took me 1 hour and 24 minutes to record. Meanwhile, I accidentally deleted a first for the fog level sometime in my lifetime. It's fine, but I cannot be bothered to replay the entire goddamn game just to replay 10 more levels. Like, at this point, I would replay the entire Plants vs Zombies game for a 4th time, and the 3rd time was fucking Replanted. Screw you! So shout out to Serpex Nessie, the man, the goat, the legend. I'm using their footage, so check their channel out in the description if you want to. Anyways, it feels a bit redundant to talk about fog, because I feel like, what else can I say about fog? Out of all the worlds in this game, fog is pretty much derivative of pool, except they cut a good chunk of the length. Vasebreaker is introduced here and... man, it is pretty lame. I'll talk about Vasebreaker later when we talk about puzzles. I think the only level that actually stuck with me is 4-10. There's no song playing in the background. It's a very dark level with a couple of glimpses on the lawn every now and then. I really enjoyed this level so much. It might be because it's rain therefore. Yep, it's rain therefore. That's all I have to add. I like rain. The zombies introduced in Fog are... you'll never see them ever again besides side modes. I don't know, I look at these guys and I feel nothing. Same thing with the plant selection. They're pretty bland. All of them don't feel like I can use many of them. Split pea. Starfruit is generally a decent plant that is given way too late, so you can't do shit like late game unless you really go out of your way to set up something for Starfruit. Pumpkin is alright, Magnesium is cool, I like it, really useful. Wanna know the only plant that I have consistently used ever since I unlocked it, even though it's only used as during fog and nowhere else unless you want to deal with balloon zombies easily and you don't care about it's fucking Blover. I have no idea why I kept using this stupid ass plant when it has practically no functionality aside being a counter for a zombie. I don't know dude, I love Blower, fuck everything. Blower is the best plant in the entire game. I love blowing, okay? Blowing fog is fun. The only good thing about fog is the song. It feels really mysterious due to the limited visibility on the lawn. And I fucking love the name Laura Shikihara chose for this one. Rigor Mormist is such a badass name that gives aura to the song. It has hype moments and aura, okay? And lastly, Roof. Cool location aside, I think we have reached the peak of dullness. The levels for Roof are significantly longer. Well, okay, they're not overly long, but they are longer than Pool. It sucks because the theme song is excellent, but then there's the entire world. You're just using cabbage pults and kernel pults for pretty much the entire goddamn thing. You don't even get melon pult until you complete 5-8. And I also question the fact that you unlock Zen Garden here. Like, it just seems strange to see something chill like Zen Garden, which doesn't provide much except Zen be introduced this late. I suppose is to have all the plants unlocked by the time you do get this so that you don't get duplicates whenever you collect sprouts dropped by zombies, but I don't know, that still happens and rarely zombies drop sprouts either way, so I don't understand this shit. Zombies, we have gargantuars and that's it. I don't really care about the others. My only gripe with gargantuars is that they barely show up, which is a little bit of a shame. Otherwise, I like him. He's a menace, and his threat levels are through the roof, although he does get humbled by the silly cute little squash plus jalapeno combo. Plant selection has melon pult, which is very powerful, so the selection can be bad, as well as my goat garlic for being one of the most important plants in a very specific build that I like, the one which involves a certain gloomy guy. Coffee bean is pretty niche, like actually quite situational, and when I say that I mean it depends if you take mushrooms with you or not, which most of the time that won't really happen. Marigold is useless. Flower pot does its job, but again it's only relevant in one world and that's it. Same story with umbrella leaf. After all of these levels, surely there has to be something at the end, right? A boss fight. Dr. Edgar Zambos. I really like how it's presented. It starts off with getting on another note, but this time it has refined cursive writing, which is pretty sudden. So far we have been getting used to this jagged ass writing that the zombies use. This clearly shows that this individual is far superior than any other living undead creature we have faced so far, and lo and behold, his superiority doesn't miss, I'll say that much. Zambos is like a pretty easy boss fight in retrospect, but I like that the short time they had to build him off to him was done masterfully, and I would be lying if I said that this boss fight wasn't fun. I really like this, even the way you can cheese this guy, which I find it pretty funny. His theme song in the background is a complete banger. And overall, it's straightforward, but a very compelling boss fight. You have to cycle ice shrooms and jalapeno when it comes to him shooting giant rolling balls, which is neat. The many different attacks when he is not shooting boulders made me pay attention to the plants that I have planted. I think this is one of those rare instances where a boss having assistance from regular enemies is entirely natural. It makes sense and makes the fight better. Fun fact about me, I don't like when bosses get extra assistance from regular enemies because to me it signals that the boss himself is not good enough to stand on his 2 feet, and it also just artificially inflates the difficulty for no reason, especially when the boss himself can probably do a lot on his own. And also there's just multiple ways to go wrong when it shouldn't. Not this time. This just goes to show how well designed he is, even if he is relatively basic. But then again, this entire game was pretty basic, and I still like it. And just like that, adventure mode is done. Zombies are no longer speak. I don't need to say anything else. Mini games. I already made a video where I ranked every minigame, so I feel like it would be a bit redundant. However, nowadays I did play a bunch of other classic PopCap games, so yes, I get some references like Bejeweled. I hate Pogo Party, it isn't a fun minigame and it takes forever to complete. Slot Machine is still lame, Beghoul Twist is fucking dog shit. Same as Invisighoul, and there's a bit too many minigames that are also from adventure mode. I get having Dr. Zombus' fight there so you don't have to replay the entire goddamn game just to fight him again, but the others feel like just being there for the sake of being there. Kinda wanted more unique minigames. Honestly, these minigames aren't very mini, instead they are very large. They take so much time to complete. I can't believe this is where 4 flag levels come from. Puzzles are interesting. There's only 2 types of puzzles, Facebreaker and iZombie. I do not remember Facebreaker being this lame. What the hell happened here? These puzzles give you too many plans. Like this is the first level where the entire bottom row is nothing but plant seeds. I will say, Facebreaker Endless makes this much more interesting because you have to contend with a lot of bucket heads and one Gargantua every single time. This is where Facebreaker truly shines in my opinion. Whereas iZombie is just going there from start to finish. The idea of playing as the zombies is really cool and the execution is superb. It genuinely feels like an entirely different game in a way. I love this. This is probably the best part about Plants vs Zombies. Although, I will say, Endless iZombie is a bit painful to play at times due to the game being stingy with sunflowers too many times for me to even get past like streak 6. It's an annoying thing about this that doesn't detract me from loving it, but it's still a big issue that makes me not like this as much as I want to. Then there is survival. Survival is fine, that's pretty much it. When it's not fine, it's just boring. The only good one is Night Survival on the hard difficulty because I get to listen to Moongrace's horror theme more often than normal. Listen man, that song is goated, okay? Also, it just feels a bit RNG stupid whenever you do a specific strat, and then there's that one zombie who just ruins everything because of course he had to show up. It is elementary. But then other times, survival is just boring with like the same zombies every time. I don't understand this side mode. Lastly, we have Almanac Zen Garden. Almanac is pretty cool. It's like an encyclopedia on everything about this game, that being the plants and the zombies. I admire the fact that each entry tells us a little bit about the plants or the zombies, as if we get to know them, even if not by much. This is kinda awesome that they went out of their way to present the Almanac like this. Then Zen Garden is just money farming simulator. No joke, it's like the best way to get cash for Crazy Dave's shop. Also, my man, Crazy Dave, what are these prices, man? The government doesn't like people defying capitals, my dude. Stay safe, man. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this dude, Crazy Dave. He is very crazy indeed. So crazy that he has a shop which, look at these prices, man, and you tell me. Oftentimes he just shows up, he says some random shit and is like, okay grandpa, go to bed, man. But yeah, overall, Crazy Dave is there for the vibes. And that's it. Listen, I still enjoy this game heavily. It has some problems, but it's still fun. And it's still fun 16 years later. I'll always cherish these memories that I have whenever I think about Plants vs Zombies. And it's not just the game itself, but everything else that came after. Not just the games. I remember watching many PvZ animations. Playing the PvZ Facebook game, yeah, remember that game? Discovering Zaxcon on YouTube, Jesus fucking Christ dude, this series hit me like a truck, what the fuck? Plants vs Zombies is an extremely solid game and a good time. If your patience is unlimited, then you're gonna have a great time playing this. In general, don't expect something fast paced, that's all. Alright, it's time for me to prepare something for Halloween, so stay tuned for that. Have a nice day!